Yeah, that's sorry about that. I'm really out of control.
Thank you so much. You've seen me already.
Okay, sorry.
So thanks. Cheers.
What's your name, sir? Lewis? What's going on? Okay, yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, cool. All right.
Yeah, but it's a sheet. It's a bit like that.
Really nice. Oh, your friend showed up?
Candy. Oh, have you missed? Oh, take a cookie too and some pineapple ups. They're world famous.
Cutting down the days into.
Oh yeah, great.
So we.
Hello everyone, if you want to come over here so you can kind of hear me easily. In fact, it'd be better if you came on this side. We'll take a photo in a minute anyway. So come gather in, get to know your neighbor. You're going to be friends for the next 2 hours and hopefully the rest of your lives. So just might as well get to know each other now. So my name is Curtis Simmons. I run the business side of things for Trey and try to keep things organized. Wow, we got a big group. This is going to be our biggest photo walk of the tour. Thank you for coming out. We're excited to be here. We picked this location. It's beautiful Hyde Park. We thought about doing it inside the city, but it's kind of hard to navigate a crowd of 400 or 500, you know, through the city streets. We already got in trouble and got our bus taken away, so we're going to try to stay out of trouble. Air New Zealand is here. Actually, these are two legit stewardesses from flight attendants from Air New Zealand. And they're passing out cookies and water. So be sure and visit these ladies over here somewhere. And I'll see you back in 30 minutes. Cheers.
They taste like chewing gum. And your friends are related? Son, I thought. I didn't want to. You got to be careful with those questions. Exactly. It's like asking a girl if she's pregnant. You just got to be really careful. You can't. Yes.
And the name on his favorite is the PTSD to show afterlife. Yeah.
I mean, partly I just came back from a trip.
But then we're like, well, she didn't say anything.
Oh, a little bit awkward.
Oh.
I love you guys. I'm so happy to be here. I think you guys know that London is like my favorite stop across all the photo tours. I think maybe it's my 5th photo walk here. And if you haven't been on a photo walk, which I think most of you haven't, right? Don't worry, I'm going to explain that in a minute. But first, those of you that have followed me even for a little while, or definitely a long while, know that I like to be very philosophical, okay? So I'm gonna get right into it. I'm gonna get really deep, really fast. It sounded kind of sexual. I didn't mean to sound like that. I have to be more philosophical. But let me tell you, the greatest creative gift you can give to yourself. And that gift is to let go of yourself. Because the more you let go of yourself, the more energy is freed up for creative power. The key is not to take yourself seriously at all, and to have an open heart and be very vulnerable. This is how I am. And if you can go the whole day and not let anything bother you, you have so much energy available, your spidey senses are always tingling, and you can literally create and do anything. Maybe you have people in your life that are often bothered by things. They're always being bothered by this and by that. If you think about it, what's going on is all this stuff is coming into their brain, right? And a lot of it is just getting stuck on these artificial constructs created by the ego that don't even exist. So if you could just let this stuff go by and not let it bother you, you'll have so much extra energy not being bothered by anything. This is me. I go through the whole day. I'm not bothered by anything. In fact, this really bothers Curtis that I'm not bothered by anything. That's his problem to be bothered, not mine. I'm just not a worrier. And it allows me to do great creative things, right? And that also, when I make mistakes, they don't get stuck in my brain. I just let them go, and I go on and I keep creating. So let's say you kind of buy into this concept, okay? Next question is, well, okay, that sounds great, Trey. How do I get rid of this horrible ego thing in my brain? I have two suggestions. One is a book. I'll put the name of the book in the Facebook group, Facebook event. It's called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Great book. The other thing is a very practical tip, and we're going to do this tonight, and that is take more photos. Because as you take more photos, you're being very present, you're being very aware, and you're being very conscious. Because during that moment when you're taking a photo, there's no future, you're not worried about the future, you're not vexed and worried about the past, you're just being very present. And that same thing happens when you're post-processing your photos. You lose track of time, you're being very present. And this is great for consciousness. It makes your soul, heart, and mind all cycle together, and you can be truly creative. So just keep taking more photos. Your life will go better, I promise. The right kind of people will show up in your life at the right time, just like all of us are here tonight. Okay, so what happens on a photo walk? Well, after this little talk, we'll do a group photo, and then we're going to go out and walk around the park together. We had kind of a path that we figured out ahead of time. I'm going to stop many times along the way and give you more philosophical thoughts, but I'll also give you some very practical tips and tricks with your camera in order to help tell stories better, to share your vision better, all right? Remember what Curtis said, I want everyone here taking photos of each other all the time. All right, I know photographers love taking photos of other people, but sometimes we get kind of scared, we're not so sure. Well, I'm giving you all permission to take photos of each other, so it's open season, okay? Just go crazy and have a good time. And then, towards the end of the photo walk, we're going to end over by the Princess Diana sculpture, and I'll kind of bid you guys adieu. And that part's always kind of socially awkward, because we all just kind of walk away from each other. But don't let it be like that. We're friends, right? We're friends. Just don't let that awkwardness come into it, all right? And let me see, what's the last thing I was supposed to...
Don't worry.
Oh, I know one thing. If you have any questions at all, come up and ask me, okay? I'm a super nice guy. I like, you know, technical questions, personal questions, inappropriate questions. Just bring them all on. I really like them. And then also, as I stop and I give these little tips and tricks, usually I take 1 or 2 questions. So if you've got one, just kind of save it up and then shout it out to me, and I'll repeat the question, and I will answer it in a public format. Okay? Yes. All right. We're making a highlight video in each city. You're going to see Goodman Will doing this, running around. And what I'm doing at the end of the videos is I'm going to go choose my favorite photos from all you guys and gals with pound 80Stays that you put on any social network, and I'm going to feature those videos at the end of the London highlight video, okay? So you guys may not know this, but whenever you leave comments or anything, I always read them. I don't always get a chance to respond. I'm looking forward to seeing all your 80Stays photos, all right? Okay, guys, and good luck to any of you that can win this grand prize to come spend a week with me in New Zealand. Thanks to Air New Zealand. Glad to have them here. I didn't expect them to come all dressed up. So exciting. I feel like I'm on just a giant plane right now, lots of room. And I want to thank Ritz-Carlton and Flixbus, all great sponsors that make all this free and make all this possible. So thanks, a big thanks to those guys.
Careful with this speaker. You ready? All right.
Dangers of luggage.
Yeah. All right, we've got the mother-daughter behind you. Good. Study school and photography, any photography?
Like,
I said even if
So we come back to the UK, we do wedding photography, so
Both of you. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
I've already signed up.
As usual, I'll be taking photos of everything, but I'll really be focusing on color. Now, we're lucky enough to be in a green park with blue skies and blue water. There's lots of color here, but you don't always see this much color like in central London, right? And so, I know a lot of you guys are hardcore HDR enthusiasts like I am, but you don't even have to be into HDR to notice color. So this is my kind of tip number one, all right? I know since you guys are already photographers, that you already see things that non-photographers don't see. I remember 10 years ago when I got my first camera, I was 35, now I'm 45. Like before I was 35, I don't really think I noticed the world. I didn't see how beautiful it was. I didn't really see colors. I would like look at the deck and go, yeah, it's yellow. But now I like really look at it. I look at the way it plays against blue. I look at the interchange of colors. You just see a whole secret world that wasn't available to you before. So as we walk around, and as you take photos of other people, I want you to notice special colors they're wearing. I saw some gal with red hair. Just look for bright, different colors that are surprising. Don't just take a photo of them, but get in close, okay? Because you want this strongest color to take up at least 25% of the photo. A lot of people, they find a cool color, but it's such a minor part of the photo that you lose it. So take that most interesting color and make it at least 25% of the photo, if not more. Theory from this anthropologist that the reason people like red is because we're always attracted to bright fruits, you know, in our ancestry. Well, see what it looks like.
We can hear you, Trey.
Hey, Will, if you're there, make yourself known. This is really nice light coming under this bridge, isn't it? And don't miss the baby duck in the nest. It's a huge highlight to the stop.
Yeah, distance. Distance?
So, because your photo is actually pretty big, try not to think about Instagram, where you don't even have to move your eye to look at a photo, okay? Instagram's great, I love it, but this is not the best format for sharing photography. We're meant to be moving our head and moving our eye all the time to have a realistic interaction with a landscape, okay? So they track people's retinas on a picture, and inevitably, the very first place the retina lands is the most saturated part of the photo. So if you have a bright, like 255:00 red spot, or a bright green spot, or a bright blue spot, their eye will jump right there, okay? Now what happens is you have rods and cones in your retina, and what happens is they get burnt out very quickly, like after 2 seconds. The eye can only look at something fully saturated for 2 seconds, okay? And then the retina will drift away without the user's control. Like your brain is not really controlling your eye at that point. It's all automatic, right? It's all like reptilian brain looking at the picture. So where does the retina go next? Now that it's burnt off, all of its cones.